Hi guys, I just thought I would do another Sunday video just to see what your thoughts were in the market. So I know the previous couple of weeks has been pretty awful, to be fair, watching this go down and down through all the previous support levels, and I know there's been a lot of FUD in the press recently, which is not helping. And then you've got all the trades that's getting liquidated on the way down. You know, if there's no stop losses there, or and it just keeps getting down and down. It just snowballs until we get some sort of support. We'll always get support, but it is a worrying time going down. I think maybe we're getting to the end of this. I think this was a lot to do with it in the last wee while. This issue in Kazakhstan that you've probably seen in the news. They're shutting it down. This is all due to gas prices. It just seems to be anything that's happening around the world here affects the markets in general, but it seems to hit crypto harder. There's a lot of panic. Maybe there'll be a lot of investors taking the money out into USDT just as a safe bet, and then everything else seems to plummet. And if Bitcoin goes down 1%, some of these altcoins are going down 10 for every 1% that Bitcoin moves, because Bitcoin is the main one that drives all the prices, as you know. I personally don't have a lot. I've invested in Bitcoin. I've got more money in some of the other coins, but we do need that momentum in Bitcoin to keep the rest of it going. So yeah, it's good to see when it does surge. The rest follow suit. So hopefully, I heard today that the power and the internet is going to start being established back in Kazakhstan, and they are one of the biggest mining communities. I did think it was America after when they moved from China, but it appears to be that Kazakhstan is quite a big part in this, a big part of the mining community. So again, like I say, everything seems to affect the price of crypto, anything at all. It just seems to move it about. So now, if you're going to be looking for an entry point into this, and as I said on my Twitter, don't just FOMO in just because we see some green today. This is very normal on a Sunday, especially, to try and get this weekly candle. I don't think it's going to be sustainable at the moment. We are seeing some red here. The volume's just not here, and I think right through the whole Christmas New Year period it's been the same. There's just been not a lot of volume, apart from obviously the downside volume with short positions or liquidations, but generally you don't see it going up at the same pace as you would see it coming down. So just be mindful of this price going up here. It's not bullish enough in my mind to be jumping into any sort of trades. Now, one of the ones I was going to look at now, when I was saying there, when you see Bitcoin move up, you see some of the other altcoins going, and I have noticed some of these ones recently going up pretty well today. Look at this one here, MetaGods. I know this is a very low market cap. Now, there is a big risk associated with this, but this one here, you'll hear Alex Becker talking about this one. He likes to get into projects between 5 and 10 million market cap. Now, these are very risky. I don't advise really going heavy into these ones unless you've got a lot of money on the side, or your experience in especially the metaverse scene here, where you can do your research. But this one here's done very well today. Now, this could be just because Alex has mentioned it. It could be to do with the Bitcoin going up. It could be a number of issues, but there's one to watch anyway. It just shows you that there's real money to be made. There's another one today. Joe, that's a DEX for Avalanche. So this one as well. Look at the gains to be had today compared to like your Bitcoin only going up. So Bitcoin's only went up 2%, and some of these have been up 40%. So there's still money to be made. You can't obviously leverage trade a lot of these smaller ones, but there's still money to be made if you're very careful and you're watching what you're doing. In and out, you're going to make good money. But overall, this is just horrendous, like what it's down today. or this week even, should I say. But just watch. I just like to watch the bigger time frames. So if you're watching the daily, yes, it is looking like it's starting to maybe bottom out, possibly. We see, when you see that this is one of the ones you like to, that you keep an eye on. If you see these wicks coming down and going back up, a lot of the time, if you keep an eye on it, it does eventually get to the same point. And this has happened numerous times. If you look back, it wicks down and then eventually it comes back down to it. Again, wicks down, comes back down to it. Wicks down, comes back down to it. Not always exactly, but you can see where I'm coming from here. So if you ever see a wick like that, just think, that this could potentially come back down and retest this point. But a lot of the time, when it does it, it actually recovers after it. So if you watch this, comes down, catches it again, then recovers, comes down, catches it, recovers, comes down, catches it, recovers, and hopefully this is going to be a recovery. Hopefully, maybe bottom out here. But if you look at the weekly, which is about to close in 2 hours, it's right on this MA, right on this moving average, the same as here. Now again, you could say, well, look, touched it there and it went up, all that. Now this is the weekly time frame, remember, but look at this. Now when that went down, touched that, it went up 100%, from that point there to there, 100%. Now I'm not saying it's going to do this, but if it did it, 100% again is, hold on guys, 100% would be a way up in it, about $90,000. So a way up here, price discovery. But don't get ahead of ourselves here. That would be amazing, and I think eventually it will. So, but just keep an eye on this. This is one to watch right now, is this weekly end. So but there's strong resistance here and here for both the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frames. Look at these MAs. These are going to be tough. As you can see previously, hits it, reject. It's just constantly being reject off of all these moving averages. So if we can break them, and then it bounces back and uses this as support and then takes off again, maybe gets another rejection, takes off, and this is what we want. We don't want to see, do you know what would be, it would be a concern for me, although it would be pretty good to start with. Say for instance, it opens the market tomorrow and we go right up, say even up to this one, right? Say I mean, it's unlikely, but say it does. Say in one candle, 2 candles it shoots, or a daily candle goes away up here. Now you might get that with a short squeeze. However, that would be a bit of a concern short term. If you were to see a big candle coming away up here, yes, good short term for making some profits. But if it did something like that, I would be taking money out. Absolutely no problem. I'd be taking money out. I wouldn't think twice, because that would be a bit of a concern. The stepping up is more healthier for the market. See this? Up, then support, up, support. That's a better sign than just something like this straight up. So, but keep an eye on it. When the market is being very, very uncertain, now I was going to say volatile, but it's always going to be volatile. When the market's uncertain like this, you've got a few options here. So you can take your money and you can hold it in dollars. You can stake it, you can farm it, you can lend it out. There's so much options right now in this market. When it's coming down, yes, if you're holding a lot, it's tough to see. It's tough for us all, and there's no way we're always going to sell at the top, buy at the bottom. There's not one person can say that they're spot on at doing that. If you get it maybe once, it's lucky, but This is why you dollar cost average. You dollar cost average on the way down, you dollar cost average on the way up, and then you get an overall average good price. So therefore, when it comes down, you're not going to lose as much as you would be if you're buying it up here, and then same on the way up. But when it's coming down, I wouldn't just necessarily take everything out. Well, you've got fees and everything, especially if it's on Ethereum. You've got all these gas fees, transaction fees, and the time and price. What price are you going to get if you're panic buying, panic selling? Never do that. Never use emotion to do these trades, because it's always going to bite you in the ass. It's always going to do that. Just look at the technicals, watch the charts, see what we're at. But like I say, if you want to stake some, I do a wee bit of everything. I lend some out, I do some staking, I do some farming, auto compounding. The compound interest is amazing, absolutely amazing, and you'll see that as you go along and you're building up your portfolio. It's just such a great thing to do. You're just pretty much getting free money, you know, because you're getting these good interests. Like S Fund, for instance, you stake that and farm that on the CDFI site, and then once you get to 250, you can enter into the IGOs for the games. There's these ones coming out, MetaStrike. I think this one, MetaStrike's the next one coming out. I think that's going to be very, very good. You get into pre-sales of them. If you get 1,000, you've got a guaranteed allocation. But you should be taking this opportunity to look at all this, learn where you can put your money, where's the best place to keep it. It's not always just about buying it and holding it, right? Okay, Bitcoin's maybe the best store of value. Not recently, obviously, because well, if you look at the date, if you look at last January at the exact same point in January to today, it's been the exact same price. But if you were to hold it in fiat currency with inflation, you would have less buying power. So yes, the price has been maybe the same as from last year to this year. It's not went down. You know, if you look at overall on the charts, you can't go wrong. You know, if you look back even way back here, right, you see the price. Now this is trading view and it's not ideal for showing you, but maybe if you look at, say, if you look at it on this one maybe, and if you look back its entire history, and if you look at it here, look at this price going along here. Now if you were dollar cost averaging in here, now look at these dates. These are years, 2014, 2015, imagine you were buying and holding year after year after year after year, and it's almost the same price, almost, and then all of a sudden boom, and look at it now. It's just tremendous. Now you're going to get that with a lot of these coins in the next 5 to 10 years. I think we're going to see huge surges, huge. And just remember, a lot of this is not really being used just now. Ethereum's not to its true potential. Some of the metaverse projects, people are playing them and play to earn and NFTs, and this is the kind of start of it now. This is hopefully the snowball effect, but a lot of them have not really got use cases at the moment. So once this happens, this is going to take off. Matic's going to go up. This could go 10x. Cardano could go 10x. Solana. I'm talking 5 to 10 years. I'm not talking, you know, you can make quick money in the small caps, but these ones here, these are the safe bets. But you're not going to double, triple, 5 times, 10 times your money overnight. Look at the amount of money in here, $45 billion. So for that to double, just double your money, that needs to be another $45 billion needs to get put into Solana. I think it will eventually, but at the moment, no, it's going to take a while, and it doesn't matter who tells you otherwise. That's going to take years and years. But yeah, I just thought I would just do a quick one, guys, just to let you know a wee bit of reassurance here that you don't just FOMO into all this. Don't just FOMO into it. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. But if you could follow me on Twitter would be helpful, guys. I'm only just one of 500 followers now, so any support would be appreciated, and any interaction, you know, I'll always reply to you. So but if you can follow me, I post on this a lot more often than I do YouTube, but I'm trying to build up both my YouTube and my Twitter. But any messages, especially if you're new into it, drop me a message, I'll get back to you. I know some of these big influencers now, they've got that many that you're not getting any response from them, but because I've got, you know, fairly small channels, I'll always get back to you and help you out the best I can. So but that's all I've got for you guys now. Stay safe. Thank you.